So for this movie, I want to go over chronologically everything that's devoid of logic. But first, I want to start the video by looking at one of the main characters that doesn't make any sense. The reason why is because she is a complete Mary Sue, and I want to show you before going into the rest of the movie. So to start out, this young girl who is still in school has convenient access to the superpowered drug that the movie revolves around and knows someone that has direct access to it. Which is convenient to say the least, and the movie never describes their relationship, so whatever, I guess? But it doesn't stop there by any means. During her first scene, she gets saved by her cop friend who she hooks up with drugs, and in return, he gives her his motorcycle during this occasion. Which, in and of itself is weird, because the cop has no idea if she has a license or can even drive a motorcycle. And of course, she can drive the motorcycle, although she's probably like 17 years old. But it's not that bad yet. Sure, she can drive a motorcycle and deals drugs, but it gets better. She also can apparently stitch wounds because her mother happens to be a vet, so she's just a medic at this point too. While talking to Jaime, we also find out that she is a very good rapper, which doesn't have much to do with the plot at all, so it doesn't make sense as to why it's in the movie. But she's just really good apparently for whatever reason, and can be very successful. Because of this and selling drugs, she doesn't like school and ditches classes, but that doesn't stop her from being really smart.
But she never had to take a pill.
Oh, fetal alcohol syndrome. If you got like glucose in your system, maybe it got passed down, huh?
Okay, yeah, you good, but you smart, huh?
And the Mary Sue traits don't stop yet. We then go to the final act where our heroes infiltrate this bad guy lair on a cargo boat, and Robin on her own can stealthily infiltrate this base like a freaking Splinter Cell agent and has a 100 in stealth. Like, how the hell does this girl know how to do this? And on top of being stealthy, she can just take out one of the guards on her own. She can just be a badass. Also, she just knows how to operate all this machinery because she's really smart.
See here? All the checkpoints got their own security doors.
And for the last point of her being a Mary Sue is that she just can't die, I guess. In the final scene, something happens that should have definitely killed her, but it just doesn't. I'll go into more of that later, but to round everything up, she has access to valuable drugs, she can drive despite being young, she's a medic, she's smart, she's a good rapper, she's a ninja, she's a badass, she can operate machinery, and she can't die. All of these traits should not be in a character who is 17 years old. That is the most devoid of logic thing that this movie has to offer by far. So now that I've shown you this one stupid aspect about the movie that tilted the shit out of me, let's now take a look at some of the more consistently stupid moments in the movie. Being a teenage drug dealer with no weapon for safety is a complete recipe for disaster, and this girl is supposed to be really smart. Then she ends up just getting saved by a Deus Ex Machina cop.
Gentlemen, on your knees, hands behind your head. NOPD.
During the rescue, one of the kids grabs the pill and is about to swallow it, and the cop starts to talk him out of it. The thing that doesn't make sense is that the cop is able to grab the pill when it is seemingly next to the kid's lip. The filmmakers also cheat this by making it seem that the pill is farther away than it actually is. So in general, this kid just must have really shit reflexes, or it just doesn't make sense. So the whole power concept in this movie is pretty devoid of logic in general. We see this guy in the next scene, and he's been taking the pill so much that he looks like Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. On top of that, you also have about a 15% chance of dying. And for what? 5 minutes of a superpower? You ruin your appearance, and you have a high chance of dying. Nobody would logically take this pill in any circumstance. So now that I've told you the power concept in the movie, let's take a look at this action scene. I don't even know how Jaime Foxx is fighting this guy at all right now. Like, shouldn't the heat be so overwhelming that Jaime could barely fight him? Regardless though, he manages to take him down and comes out with only one burn on his arm. Like, what? To give a little context for that scene, Jaime's character was following a lead on the super pill and ended up fighting one of the people dealing it. We also find out that taking multiple at once kills you. But Jaime acquires the drug dealer's phone. Apparently this drug dealer only talks in emojis. Like, are the filmmakers just trolling at this point? I really don't know. So the point of this scene is that Jaime is trying to contact Robin, who is other known as the Mary Sue, because she knows the guy dealing the superpower pills. When Jaime contacts her, he doesn't use emojis. And wouldn't that be a red flag for Robin? Like he is suddenly talking in a different manner. And then the movie shifts its focus to the cop for a little bit in a sequence that, isn't the best. I see that it's Casual Friday apparently, because why is this detective nonchalantly walking up to a hostage scene in a jersey? Shouldn't he at least be wearing a bulletproof vest? So this robbery has been ongoing and this guy still has his power? It initially lasts 5 minutes, and from what we learned with this guy, taking multiple in a short duration kills you, so how does he still have it? The movie is just unclear about this, and it doesn't make sense. So the chameleon guy just runs out the front door and nobody tries to stop him. And then the only cop to pursue him is the detective. Like, what? After the detective chases this guy for a minute or so, the chameleon makes it onto a trolley and he decides to check his money. The minute that shit explodes, wouldn't the driver stop the trolley? Like, he just keeps driving without noticing, I guess. And everyone is just suffocating on the trolley. Then he finally stops when the cop tells him to.
Huh?
Also, I like how they've been outrunning cop cars this whole time. So then after that, the cop tackles them out of a window and the chameleon gets his gun. Ah, good thing he has a power that perfectly fits the situation. It feels like all the powers are just here for plot conveniences. So Jamie ends up luring Robin to the place she normally meets to get her super pills, and Jamie pops her tire. And then for whatever reason, Jamie somehow knows to set up a trap on this specific street in which Robin might walk down with her motorcycle. Like, how the hell does he know that? It doesn't make sense at all. What if Robin just called a mechanic to pick up her bike and she just Ubered home? Jamie's plan would just be ruined. So Jamie kidnaps this girl, threatens to kill her, and threatens to kill her family.
But you keep messing around with me and acting like you don't know shit, I'm gonna knock your ass out and I'm gonna go kill your mother.
And then for the next 10 minutes, manipulates her into doing shit that she doesn't want to do, and that's dangerous for her. And then Jamie at the end of that whole scene says that he needs help saving his daughter.
I was just trying to find my daughter.
And Robin's just like,
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
and then all of a sudden she's just on his side, and then she goes to stitching his wounds. Like, what do you mean? This guy was being a complete asshole who wanted to kill you, and now you want to help him? Like, he was literally killing people in front of Robin. I would be absolutely terrified of this guy. I wouldn't want to be with him at all. And going back to the whole action scene that happened in that 10 minutes, I'll pick out a couple moments that are just really stupid. So after Jamie kills a few guys, he tries to talk to Robin. While he is distracted, this guy rolls up on him, and he could have easily killed him, but he shoots his shoulder. It even seems as if this guy lines up a headshot, and then changes to shoot his shoulder. So yeah, plot armor always makes sense. Then Jamie ends up taking that guy down, and it just so happens that his power is immortality, so the action scene just ends up being longer because of that. How convenient. I just want to show you Jamie's reaction to Robin rapping, because it's really bad.
Ooh, smoke that. All right.
Now that is some A+ acting. And this line is also really weird.
What's this?
You gotta take 4 of them.
This is just for dogs.
Yeah, well, you a big dog.
Yikes. So in this scene, Robin takes Jamie's keys and wants him to pay her $5,000 to go with and help him. I don't know why this guy would pay $5,000 for her help. Like, she's literally a kid and she would be a liability.
Yo,
What?
what you doing?
I thought we were like Batman and Robin.
No, Batman and Robin, that's a movie. This is real life. Listen, you just hang here and wait till I get back, all right?
What? Why does he even pay her $5,000 if he just wants her to sit in the car the whole time? So Jamie is about to crash another place that is working with the super pills since he wants to take down the whole organization since they took his daughter. So Jamie's bright idea is to just walk into the place and point a gun at the guy in charge and ask him to leave with him. Like, that's pretty idiotic. There's literally tons of people there to stop him, and they do. So there ends up being a whole action scene, and it just so happens that the 2 people to survive are Jamie and the guy he needs. Oh my god. Also, before this whole scene, we figure out that the power pills unlock a random animal genetic mutation that gives you a power. The one question I have is, what animal turns into the Hulk, and what animal turns into Elsa from Frozen? The movie tries to explain the science behind it, and it doesn't really make sense to me. So after the whole action scene, the cop catches up with Jamie and arrests him. That basically leaves Robin on her own, and she sees the bad guys behind the drug organization at the crime scene, and decides to follow them. The thing that doesn't make sense is that the bad guys don't notice a very obvious red motorcycle following them. Like, are they stupid or something? To give some context after this point, the cop and Jamie decide to work together to take down the drug organization. Jamie decides to get captured, and the cop is going to break in. And this is where the cop runs back into Robin. And the idea that the cop has to infiltrate the base is honestly really stupid. Robin just tells him to do a Clint Eastwood impression to the guard, and it seems to actually work, and I was honestly ready to quit the movie at that point.
Oh, did I stutter?
But luckily, the guard shoots his ass. Before that, the cop took a power pill, and his power is invulnerability. Then his plan is to just wake up and take this guard out? Like, is there nobody else around to see this? They are literally out in the open. And then after this, Robin just walks through the main gate as if nobody is there. Like, excuse me? You're telling me that there's literally no one that can see her in the middle of the courtyard. Then she just gets into a car that they put on the ship, and then after that she becomes a ninja. Later on, when Robin gets control of the security doors, she steals off this goon, and his power just so happens to let him get through all the doors. The powers are just used for the convenience of the plot. Almost every other power would not allow him to get through the doors. During one of the last action scenes, they have to fight this guy with bones he's using as swords, and there is absolutely no way he can cut through metal like this. Like, his bone is really dull, and he can apparently cut through anything. Like, how is that possible? So for this scene, Jaime Foxx is telling this guard that his power comes from the pistol shrimp in order to scare him.
But it hit you so fast, it vaporizes the water around. Shockwaves. And when it's all over, it's just Mr. Shrimp.
He's acting like the pistol shrimp fucking explodes, but it doesn't. What the pistol shrimp does do is that the claw closes so quickly, it creates a bubble in the water, and when it encloses, there's a ton of energy. And that energy equates to the temperature of the surface of the sun. So the power lies in the speed of the claw closing, if anything. So in theory, he should be able to punch someone so hard and fast that they vaporize from the crazy force and energy. That'd be so much cooler instead of him just shitting out sunbeams, which has nothing to do with the pistol shrimp. It just makes no sense, and it's extremely underwhelming. And if the temperature is supposed to be so high in the shockwave, then how the hell is Robin still alive? Also, if powers are supposed to last for 5 minutes, then shouldn't Jamie just be sitting here shitting his pants until his power is over? Apparently there are powers that end right away. This is just contradictory at this point. After that, Jamie just dies, or whatever the hell happened to him, I don't know. Then, it just turns out that Jamie's daughter in the movie can bring people back to life. She's basically just Rey Skywalker. But yeah, that encompasses most of the devoid of logic moments in the movie. If you haven't watched the movie and you watched this video instead, then it probably saved you a lot of time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and have a nice day.